My presentation on social class within sport. Pierre de Coubertin, the co-founder of the International Olympic Committee, once said, "Sport must be the heritage of all men and of all social classes." In this presentation, I'll be giving a brief definition on what social class is. I'll be talking about some theory related to social class within the terms of sport. Then I'll be taking a look at the foundation of sport, specifically football, in relation to social class. And I'll be talking about how social class can have an effect on participation levels within sport. And finally finishing on monopolisation of the game and the social issues that still exist at the elite level. So what is social class? Folkley 2021 says social class refers to categories of people who share an economic position in society based on their income, wealth, education, occupation and social connections. So this isn't a full sort of demonstration of the class categories, but we've got a brief one on upper class, middle class and working class. So upper class is the highest social rank with the most wealth. Middle class is more prosperous than the working class, but less wealthy than the upper class. And the term is often defined by occupation and income, and working class is the least well off out of all the classes, but appears to be the most diverse, with people from all sorts of backgrounds seeing themselves as working class. So, in related theory, I will be touching on functionalist theory, but I will be looking to delve more into conflict theory throughout the presentation. So first on functionalist theory, the term coined by Emile Durkheim early on. Crossman 2014 says each part of society is functional for the stability of the whole of society, and it talks about society as a system of interrelated parts, and this is partly why I chose this theory, because when you think of sports you think of the players, the coaches, the staff, the fans all working together to achieve this one goal. So in that sense, sport is a society of interrelated parts, and that's why I think that holds well for this presentation. So when I was looking at it, the positives I could see was sports can be used as a source of inspiration. It definitely can, and it's beneficial for individuals as well as society. As for the negatives, I feel like it overstates the positive consequence of sport on society, and it assumes that all social groups benefit equally from sport, which we will find out isn't the case. So my other theory I've chosen to look at is of course conflict theory, which is a term coined originally by Karl Marx. Conflict theory holds that social order is maintained by domination and power rather than consensus and conformity, and that is out in 1988. So a major theme of conflict theory is making people class conscious, and it takes a look at how social class plays a major role in sport. So it says I'd be getting into conflict theory a little bit more. So there's 5 bullet points as to sort of what conflict theory is and what it looks to talk about. So it suggests that social order is maintained by power and domination. The elite upper class hold power over the working class. The conflict between groups and individuals leads to social inequality and injustices. The social and economic institutions are used to maintain dominance of the ruling class. The state serves the interests of those in power rather than the interests of all, be it the working class, the middle class. The state serves the interests of the elite. When looking at conflict theory within the eyes of sport, I felt it was a little bit overcritical, but definitely still suited towards this presentation. It described sport as an opiate, which distracts fans and followers from the stuff that matter. I don't feel that's the case. So, foundation of sport in relation to social class, football, the working man's sport, or it once was. Baker in 1979 said, "For its working class participants, soccer meant much more than a job, unlike politics, higher education or commerce, which are still reserved for the well-born or moneyed. Football provided an opportunity to compete on even terms." So football was originally founded as a working class pastime. It became a pillar of the working class culture, be that through the 50s, the 60s, or the music come through the 80s. Football was always part of this massive culture, especially in Britain, and that led fans to hold an identity. They felt like they loved their club, they felt proud of their club, and they filled the terraces every week through that. But football began to change. If we want to pinpoint to a specific period in time, we can maybe pinpoint to the 1990s when Sky took over the Premier League. Where football started to become a lucrative industry with top teams dealing in very, very, very large sums of money. And over time, ticket prices have increased. Teams have become brands. We look at Liverpool, who were this working class team on the docks, and now this massive brand with celebrities like Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, superstars playing for them. In the sport, no doubt remains a passion of the working class, but the social order has definitely changed. So, are we talking about social class and sports participation? So, firstly, upper class sports. Upper class sports may include polo, automobile racing, which we most commonly know as Formula One, sailing. Upper class sports require more and expensive equipment. They're often closed off, so that sees no route to a kid like me from Inverclyde. I've got no route in towards the polo game. And Huggins 2018 said, "For a gentleman, his sports acted as symbols of his position and wealth." So that sort of references that the rich elite see sports like these as a sort of an image instead of a fun pastime. There's a quick video coming up, and it just talks about the sort of privileges and elite that people who play polo surround themselves with.
I've seen you support Centre Ballet with Prince William. You've played with Prince Harry. Now, what's it like to play with the boys?
We're very, very lucky. What Royal Salute does, as a lot of corporates do, a big part of their ethos is a bit of philanthropical give back, I think. And what Royal Salute does is it combines events with Prince William and Prince Harry, and they raise phenomenal amounts of money all over the year. And I've been very fortunate to help the boys raise some money for their charities, and we're going to be doing the same thing for the Royal Salute Centre Bali Cup now in September down in South Africa. Looking forward to that. But no, it's a privilege to play with the boys and against them, and they're very, very good polo players. So hopefully they'll carry on playing, and hopefully they'll keep raising some money, some great causes.
So if we take a look at more middle class sports, Lewis in 1995 says sporting cultures of golf and tennis have been made by the middle class or segments of that class. So middle class sports are looking at golf, cricket, tennis, where membership fees are often required. And working class, we've already touched on football, of course, but basketball and rugby. These are sports that are often part of the school curriculum, and they don't require a lot of equipment, so that's a lot less funds going out on brand new rackets, brand new golf clubs, stuff like that. Easier for kids to play. So participation in sport based on social class. So if you take a look at this graph shows that people from the lowest socio-economic groups are least likely to take part in physical activity. The economic effect on participation has a massive role to play in this. Cost of special clothing that I just touched on, equipment, and cost of travel. So if you take a look at this graph by Doggreen and Whitehead, and take a look at the small orange semicircle, this is the individual lifestyle factors that affect participation issues. So individual lifestyle factors can be based on economic wealth, taught knowledge, and skills. So that could be the wealth of a parent of a kid who's looking to get into football, can't afford to take them to football. It can be the knowledge and skills that these kids learned in their public schools, which may be worse off than the private education that the upper class would receive. If we go one up, social and community networks, this is all about access to things. So do you have access to a golf club? Do you have a membership to this golf club? Whatever. Do you have a member of your family who lives by a river who can get you into sailing? Just that sort of things. And the green one, the living and work conditions, is sort of the same. It's geographical based. So people living in this area will have greater access to facilities, as they're staying in a more well-off area.
So I'll talk briefly on the monopolisation that faces football today and the issues this has caused for the fans from the lower social classes. Increased ticket prices have been a massive issue for fans. The rising cost of tickets has made it difficult for many working class fans to attend games. Commercialisation has been a massive issue as well, with the focus on profit and commercial interests shifted the culture of football. So we can look at stuff like the European Super League, or playing domestic games in Saudi Arabia such as Barcelona versus Real Madrid getting played in Riyadh. Issues like that, where football is often prioritising corporate sponsorships over the needs of local communities. Or we can talk about the cultural alienation that this commercialisation has caused, where football's created a disconnect between clubs and their local fan bases, making it harder for working class supporters to feel represented.
This is my bibliography or references. Thanks a lot for watching.